Hi everyone, Robin here, and this is my part 4 of my Pokemon Black and White rewrite. So without further ado, let's dive in. Things continue as normal until we get to the episode where Bianca meets up with them again and actually wants to attempt to capture an Emolga. The episode goes pretty much the same, except this time it's Hilda who finds Emolga first, and it's being attacked by 3 Watchdogs he had avenged before. Sending out Wallabite and Swallow, he immediately tries to battle them all, and Emolga seeing this, decides to join in. While it's a 3-on-3, Emolga, Wallabite, and Swaddle unfortunately are matched. That is, however, when Swaddle is covered by a white light and evolved into Swadloon. Together, the 3 of them is able to fight off the Watchdog, and Emolga decides he wants to join Hilda's team. More than happy to, Hilda catches it, meaning Emolga is now added to her team. A few days later, our gang travels down the road. However, all of a sudden, they hear rushing in the bushes, and just then, an angry Druddigon comes out to them. As Ash tried to attempt to battle it off, they immediately hear a voice, and all of a sudden, Iris comes in rushing and tells Druddigon to calm down. When Iris notices Ash, they immediately start catching up, and Ash introduces Hilda to Iris, and vice versa. Iris explained that he had been traveling really hard and had managed to obtain 3 badges. Ash said that he had also been able to take 3. He then suggests that they have a battle, with Iris more than happy to agreeing to it. The battle is a 3-on-3, and first up is Oshawott versus Dino. It's immediate that Iris has become way stronger, as Dino's attack and brute force is more than enough to counter Oshawott's attack. Eventually, Dino lands a powerful headbutt and is able to take Oshawott down. Next is Pikachu, which is sort of a rematch from last time. With Dino over the weekend, Pikachu can easily finishing it off, meaning Iris is now down 1 Pokemon. He then sends in a second Pokemon, Fracture, showing that her IQ has evolved. The battle between the 2 is intense. Pikachu is doing his best to bring up Fracture's power, but it's not easy. Eventually, Fracture is able to take Pikachu down, but it's definitely weakened as a result. So then Ash sends his final Pokemon, Gible, who is able to deliver a powerful rock smash right to the gut, which is able to take down Fracture. Lastly, Iris sends in Druddigon, and the battle between Dragon commences. However, the size of Druddigon easily outpowers Gible. However, Gible refuses to lose his heat. So when Druddigon tries to land a powerful Dragon Claw, Gible's body is covered by a blinding light and evolves into a Gabite. But then Gab actually rushes right past Druddigon and delivers 2 quick slashes with green glowing claws, revealing it to have learned Dual Shock. It immediately becomes a slugfest. While Druddigon is still bigger, it's definitely not faster, so Gabite is able to dodge most of the attack and deliver more. However, anytime Druddigon lands an attack, it easily makes up for it. Both of them exhausted, both Ash and Iris call for a Draco Meteor. Both of them launch the meteors up into the air, and both of them are immediately fell with 100 of meteor rocks. When the smoke clears, both Gabite and Druddigon are laying unconscious, making this battle a draw. Although angry that he didn't win, Iris did compliment Ash how strong he has become, and Ash doing the same. And with that, Iris leaves, and our heroes depart for their next destination. As the journey continues, we eventually get to the episode where Sandal and Ash have another battle, but then they get interrupted with the Tree of Ducklets. This pretty much goes the same with Pikachu still learning Electro Ball, and the Pikachu and Sandal having a battle, with Ender and Sandal evolving into Krokorok. Pikachu still winning, however afterward, Ash actually approached Krokorok and asked if he wanted to join his team, and Krokorok agreed, meaning Ash now has a full team and his 4th Unova Pokemon. If you're wondering, yes, this episode technically took place earlier in the actual anime before Ash's first gym battle. However, I didn't want Ash having all of the Pokemon he can capture stack up on top of each other, so I decided to instead give Ash and Krokorok the encounter here instead. And honestly, I always believe that I should have just gotten Krokorok at that point, because honestly, putting on to later didn't make much sense. The next event to note is that Ash and Hilda once again run into Sharon, and Hilda wanted to challenge Sharon into another battle. However, Sharon declined, saying that he don't believe Hilbert can actually handle him, and Sharon said that he won about Ash. Ash agrees, but only if he battles Hilbert if he wins. Except in a condition, Sharon and Ash have a battle. To save Pokemon for Hilbert, they agree on a 2-on-2, with the first being Rock'n'Roller versus Snivy. The battle is immediately one-sided. Snivy is immediately shown to be able to take any attack, and while Rock'n'Roller is sturdy enough to take most of them, Snivy eventually ends up on top. Next, Sharon sent in his Liepard, showing that his Purloin has evolved. Being female, Snivy's attack doesn't work, and eventually Liepard is able to take down Snivy. With that, Ash sent in his second Pokemon, Krokorok, and the clash between the Dark type commences. Sharon, using Liepard's speed, is able to deliver some hit. However, when he goes in for a slash, that is when Ash actually a Krokorok using Stone Edge, but actually keeps them spinning around him, forming a Stone Edge counter shield. Being completely caught by it, Sharon can't do anything with Light Police knocked away before Crocodile sent the stone toward it and is able to knock it out, meaning Ash had won against Sharon, showing Sharon that he still have a long way to go if he ever is going to battle Ash. With that, it's then time for Hilbert to battle Sharon, and they begin by sending in Tranquil and Rufflet, showing that Liepard is not the only one of Sharon's Pokemon that have evolved. Hilbert thinks this is going to go similar to last time, however, Tranquil has gotten way faster and stronger, and after a couple of clashes is able to take Rufflet down. Next, Hilbert sent in Tepig, which is able to take down Tranquil after a few flame charges boosting his speed. Lastly, Sharon sent in Surviving to be able to mimic the winter last time. For the most part, it goes so, with Tepig being pushed back, with Survivor barely taking any damage. But just then, Tepig let out a powerful cry and evolved into Pignite. Hilbert is happy about it and calls for a flame charge. However, Pignite just rushes in with a glowing hands and actually delivers an arm thrust. But just then, everyone noticed something. Whenever Hilbert calls on a move, Pignite doesn't do it, and actually going for any attack it does it then. Sharon thinks can take advantage of that and calls for a lead tornado to keep it at bay. Hilbert tries to tell Pignite to dodge it and go in for a flame charge. However, Pignite just calls for a flamethrower instead to counter it. It's a fierce clash, however, Flamethrower is able to outpower the tornado and is able to survive taking it out. Hilbert is happy that he won, but just then Pignite blasts him with a flamethrower and storms off. Hilbert not sure what happened. Sharon walks up to Hilbert saying that if that is how he trained his Pokemon, he's never going to be able to enter the universe. He may have won this time, however that was just a dumb luck, not actual skill. With that, Sharon departs, and Hilbert looks for Pignite, wondering what happened to his friend. After a while, they get stopped by a lake, and they all decided to embark on their own separate activities. Hilda training alongside Ardeno and Swadloon on a new routine he's been working on. Hilbert actually goes with Pignite, trying to work out what happened to him. However, Pignite doesn't listen to anything Hilbert says and occasionally blasts out with a flamethrower. This worries Hilbert because he doesn't know what's happening to his own Pokemon now. At the same time, Ash is over at the lake training with Oshawott since he still has the problem of keeping an eye closed while using Aqua Jet. In the meantime, all of the other Pokemon are playing together, however just then, they all get poisoned by a Shroomish and this causes some panic. The three trainers immediately try to work out how they can handle it. They eventually learn about the medicine they need is under the water, so Ash and Oshawott offer to go there. However, they need someone to watch over them. Hilbert volunteers since the only Pokemon he still have is Pignite and it doesn't listen to him. So right now, he wouldn't be able to do anything. Understanding, Hilda leaves Ardeno with him to help Hilbert take care of the Pokemon, so Ash, Hilda, and Oshawott go toward the lake trying to obtain the medicine they need. However, before they can get the medicine, suddenly the water splashes up around them and out of it comes a fearsome Pokemon, Seismitoad. Clear that it will not allow them to enter the lake, so they immediately becomes time for a battle. So Ash and Oshawott do their best to actually battle against the big water type. Luckily, being small gives it the advantage, and they're able to deliver a good couple of hits. However, when it looks like Seismitoad is about to pass out, it suddenly seems rejuvenated. Confused by this, all of a sudden they notice another Pokemon next to it, and a Mola. Right, they are actually working together, Seismitoad being the attacker while Mola serving as healing. Seeing this, Hilda offered to take out Mola as Oshawott still handles Seismitoad. The battle between Mola and Swadloon comes on, and Hilda is getting the upper hand. Eventually, Mola gets hit by a powerful energy ball, which actually causes faint, and Hilda is capturing it, making it her 5th Pokemon. At the same time, Ash battling against Seismitoad got on pretty much the same, however Seismitoad is able to deliver some powerful hits. Just then, Oshawott uses Aqua Jet to actually avoid and is able to keep his eyes open and actually be able to land a good hit. However, when the Aqua Jet goes off, Oshawott is suddenly covered by a blinding light, and when it dies down, now sends a different Pokemon, Duat. Ash is excited by this, and Duat using its twin razor shells is able to skillfully block most Seismitoad attack, but still at the same time delivering some good hits. All of a sudden, Seismitoad stops the attack, but instead it bounces, respecting Duat's strength and allows it to get the medicine. When it's all said and done, the game continues onward with some new team members and evolution on their side. A few days later, President Juniper asked Ash and his friends towards the Pacific Lab. However, when they come there, they are surprised to see Iris there as well, seeing that she also got an invite. With that, President Juniper presents them with 2 fossils, a plume fossil and a cover fossil. Explains that he's going to be attempting to restore these Pokemon, and all of them are excited. After the process is complete, and all of a sudden he presents 2 fossil Pokemon, Arcan and Tortuga. Everyone is fascinated by them. However, before they can do anything, Team Rocket shows up and attempt to steal the Pokemon for themselves. Not gonna allow it to happen, and the game immediately battles. But in the commotions, Jesse is able to corner Arkin with Omega. However, Iris shows up beside it and battle alongside it. At the same time, James and Yamath is trying to get Tortuga. However, Hilbert is alongside it and keep it safe. Eventually, King is able to afford Team Rocket back, and seeing how well they work together, Professor Hilbert gives Arkin and Tortuga to Iris and Hilbert respectively. Both being happy about it, they welcome their new veterans to the team, and eventually they continue on their journey. A while later, our gang managed to get to Boston, and they get here about a club battle that will be taking place. Being more than excited, Ash, Hilbert, and Hilda decide to all sign up. Once they get there, they also notice that Sharon, Bianca, and Iris are all there to also participate. After doing the registration, they eventually enter and get to see what battles they're gonna take part in. These are the matchups for round 1, and pretty much everyone, our main character, will move on, so let's not get too much into it. However, when Iris sees who's battling in the first battle, she gets a bit annoyed. Hilda seeing this asks Iris what happened, and Iris explains that the girl is named Georgia and is a dragon buster which have intended to battle her several times to defeat our dragon type. He meant to defeat her, but now he is attempting to get in the Unity just to defeat Iris. Nevertheless, this is the battle for round 2, and Ash battling against Georgia pretty much got the same as Canon, and Hilda battling a trainer we do not know, we pretty also get past it. Next, we have the battle against Hilbert and Sharon. Sharon doesn't really mind too much since he believes he can easily beat Hilbert. Hilbert, on the other hand, is quite nervous. He has decided not to use Pig Knife for this since he still doesn't listen to what he says, so he's not sure battling with him right now would be a good idea. And so, when they send out their Pokemon, Sharon sent in a Frillish as Hilbert sent in Scraggy. Sharon thinks that Hilbert is just joking around. Unfortunately, Scraggy is immediately getting bombarded with attacks. Pretty much not having anything EQ to get Frillish, Scraggy unfortunately get beaten. It seems to be over, and Sharon tells Frillish to go in close for a finishing move. However, just then, Scraggy's eyes burn with rage. As he gets hit by a close-up Shadow Ball, it then reels back into fits and thrusts forward, covering a dark energy, which strikes Frillish hard, which knocks it right back. Surprised by this, Hilbert looked in the Pokédex and learned that Scraggy had learned the move with Payback. Seeing a lucky break, Hilbert continued to using Payback over and over, as Frillish does it best to avoid and delivering attacks. Having used Confuse Ray to even confuse Scraggy, Hilbert tested to use a Payback trying to finish it quickly. But just then, Scraggy actually charged in with a headbutt instead. Sharon believes now he has in the back and just wait for it to get close. However, when Scraggy closed, Hilbert tells her to use Payback now. And just in the good time, Scraggy changes his headbutt to Payback, and is actually able to land the attack, knocking out Frillish, meaning Hilbert had beaten Sharon. This time around, Sharon said that the battle was won out of pure luck and actually confident Hilbert on winning. But he says that if he doesn't get paid under control, he's not going to be able to win the next battle. Hilbert nodded it, knowing that Sharon does have a point. The next match is Iris versus Bianca. Bianca uses Litwick as Iris uses Dino, and Dino is able to quickly get rid of Litwick because of a type advantage. With that, we then get into the semifinal as Ash battling Hilbert as Iris taking on Hilda. In Hilbert versus Ash uses Krokorok as Hilbert uses Munna. Hilbert surprised everyone by using a non-damage move for the most, like using Confuse Ray to confuse Krokorok and uses other moves to pretty much block any Krokorok's attacks. Hilbert knew that Krokorok may be used here, so he knew how Munna practiced using non-damaging attack as much as he could in order to get the upper hand. However, while it's good in theory, in action it's not so simple. As having battled many trainers who used a non-damaging move as much as they could, but he's able to maneuver Hilbert and eventually taking Munna out. Hilbert is disappointed, but Ash compliments him on using a well-thought strategy. He believes that with some more training, he can go far. They then leave the battlefield, and next is Hilda versus Iris. Knowing that she doesn't have much to counter Dragon, Hilda uses Audino as Iris going with Fracture. The two of them battle hard, but Fracture eventually gets the win against Audino and Iris moves on. When it's time for the final, it's now Ash versus Iris. With that, Ash sends in Pikachu as Iris sends in Druddigon. Both have saved these two Pokemon for the final battle. The battle is intense. While Druddigon has power, Pikachu has the speed. The battle is a pretty strong back and forth until they both rush in with a final attack of Iron Tail for Pikachu and Dragon Claw for Druddigon. When the attack ends, they both stand strong for a bit. However, in the end, Pikachu is the one who falls, meaning Iris is the winner of the club battle, and Ash goes up to congratulate her. With the battle now all over, Ash and the game continue onward to Nimbasa City and Ash and Hilbert's next gym battle. And that will be all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you like this, and I'll see you all in part 5. Bye!